right, Shalom family. I'm gonna click back to the welcome screen and wait for a couple of the family to get here before I start on my message. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna wait at the welcome screen and wait for y'all to come in, and I'll start once y'all do. All right, Shalom. Just make sure you say Shalom as you enter into the chat. Dabada mashbaka for the patience that y'all be having. All right, just say Shalom. All right, I was waiting for at least one person to come in. I didn't see anybody else. So now that you in, I'm gonna go ahead and start. All right. So I want to just tell you thank you for coming this afternoon. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my scroll and begin reading because I don't want to prolong this. I'm gonna go ahead and get into what I'm going to talk about. And the word that you saw in the beginning on the screenshot is Chath, Shachara. It means black gate. All right, it means black gate. And there was an old saying that my grandparents and my mother and my father used to say when we didn't know whether we wanted to stay in the house or outside the house. They said in or out. Either you going in or either you going out. Make your mind up. All right. Now I'm going to pull up this scripture for you so you can understand where I'm coming from. All right. So this right here that's before you is Barashayath, chapter 11. Now, there is a sister that has done, she uploaded a chronicle, break it down in Hebrew, and she goes from Genesis. She has a Genesis thing she got going. I'm going to post her playlist when I'm done. But right here, this is Barashayath chapter 11, okay? And there's something that I want to bring out today. So go ahead and listen, fam. Go ahead and listen.
Genesis 11. And the whole earth was of one language, and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth.
All right, now listen to this part.
And they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
All right, now we know that when Yahweh does something, Hashatan also has a way of trying to do the same thing. Hashatan has a way of seeking to do the same thing. Now, I want to show y'all something, right? You see this word right? So the word right here, this is why they call it the city Babel. Right here, confounded. And then I want you to, and we're going to look up this word right here, Babel. But first, I'm going to take you right here where he say, So Yahweh scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Let me play this one more time, because there's something in here that I want y'all to see. Listen.
Genesis 11. And the whole earth was of one language, and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they...
Okay, so he said that the whole earth was of one language, one Lashon. It wasn't Lashawan, it was one Lashon, and one speech. When it says speech, they understood each other's Lashon. And it came to pass. So when you read inside of the prophets, when you say he shall restore unto the people a pure language, that means that he was going to give them the understanding of the pure language. And we're going to look up that scripture today, Yahweh willing, as well. Let me write that down. Restore unto the people. Okay, because this right here is going to be a number 2 from the lesson that I did called Mending the Family. All right, and I never explained to you the sheepdog effect. What I was trying to bring out to you is that we at times could be chasing one another. When we start going with a person that want to slay us inside of the oven, slay us and take our coat off so that he could skin us and let us sit out there in the snow without our fur, without our naps. So that's why I put the sheepdog on the last video. And let me go ahead and do this right here. And it say, and the whole Arats. That means the whole kingdom. And when you see this word right here, Arats, it doesn't just mean planet, right? It doesn't just mean world. This word in this sense, because the planet, the earth, the rocks, and the bricks, they do not use words like we do. Shalom Amah, April Showers Network. So in our original language, which is the language of Adam, and we say we the oldest people on earth, and the whole earth, that means the whole kingdom, Arats, was full of one lashon, of one language. So everybody in this kingdom, in this first kingdom, had one language and one speech, which means they understood each other. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, so they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. So in order to journey from the east and establish that they found a plain, so they found a plain, all those people who spoke one language, and I'm going to tell you who these people is, Yahweh willing. It says it came to pass. So right here, the whole earth, and so they lived among each other traveling, and it came to pass as they journeyed. See, they traveled from the east. They all spoke the language of Adam. They traveled from the east, because this is before the Lashon was divided and made Lashawan, which means languages, tongues. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the, right here, that's why I say land, right here is the same word here, in the Arats of Shinar. But it wasn't a country yet, because they haven't founded it yet. They wasn't established there yet. So it say, and the whole Arats was of one Lashon and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, they found a place, a plain, in the land, like it say, of Shinar. And they dwelt there. So here you see kingdom, and here you see land. All right. So you need a kingdom that need a land. And they dwelt there. So then they pitched their tent there. And they said one to another, just like when the pilgrims came to America, but differently, because it was already people here. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly, that they had brick for stone and slime had they for mortar. And there's tribes in Africa that still know how to build those brick stone houses made out of slime. All right, and mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower. And a tower. So they was all working together to establish this kingdom. See, you got to understand, because people look at this and they say, y'all evil, because he ain't have to scatter them people. But he said inside the scripture, let me write this down. I establish kings That's what he said. I establish kings. We're going to look up that verse. And I tear them down. Now watch this. I establish kingdoms and I destroy kingdom. Why? He going to tell you why, but let's look here. And the whole Arats was full of, and the whole kingdom was of one language. They all journeyed. So let's keep this down. So 1, if you got your piece of paper, put a 1 and put a period and put kingdom. Put Lashan, that's L-A-S-H-A-N or S-H-O-N, Lashan for language. Put Lasha, L-A-S-H-A-W-A-M, Lashawan. That means languages. But here is Lashan, which means language. Lashawan, the na on the end of the Lashawan is a feminine. It's a feminine plural, which means it's more than one. But Lashan, if you wanted to make it masculine plural, you'll say, you have to Lashawan, so you have Zion Wath, Zion, so Lashan is a masculine. When you have the na on the end, it can only be summarized in the feminine plural. So Lashawan Wath would be feminine plural. So Lashawan is still masculine plural because, okay, I get it. My bad. So the wa makes it and. So Lashawan, languages. All right. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east. So they left from the east and they found the plain in the land of Shinar. So if they left from the east, then everybody, what they call now today as human beings, came from what they call now today Asia, right? Asia, but not in the Asia that we think of today, because when we think of Asia, we think of, black. Not in every sense, but you understand what I'm getting at. When we think of Asia today, we don't think of dark-skinned people in vast. So from the east, so they journeyed from the east, and it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. It wasn't called Shinar then, but they found a land in the plain of Shinar, and he was explaining it in his writings, the scribes. And they dwelt there, so they lived there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make bricks. So now they got a language, they are already operating as a kingdom, and now they say they found a land to pitch they tents, and now they say, okay, they found the land, they liked the land, I reckon, and so they pitched their tents there. So they put down their athal inside of the arats, and they pitched their wawa, which means wawa, which means the they pitched their samak. Samak means tent peg inside of the arats, and they set up their bayath, and inside of bayath is mashpakah. So they set up their families in the land of Shinar, but it wasn't called Shinar at the time. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly, And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, we're reading. See, this is what it looked like when you're reading Hebrew, when you're reading the Bible. You're taking your time and you're reading to understand, not just reading to apply it to your theology. When you're reading the Bible and reading it to understand, you're not reading it to apply it to your theology. You're reading it to understand what it said. And they said, because if I say I'm reading all this and the person asking, okay, what did they do when they got to the land of Shinar? Was it the land of Shinar? What did they do? Oh, they sat down, so we're not paying attention, right? All the way. But we hear it, but subconsciously we'll remember. We'll read it over and over and over until we memorize some of it. But if we take our time and look at what we're reading to get an understanding, we're not just reading for wisdom, we're also reading for the understanding, right? So we're not just reading for some wise thing that we're trying to get, but we're reading also for the understanding. And they said, go to, let us build us a city. So what did they say? Let us build us a city. So they work it together as a us. So they was working together as us, not as everybody else, but as a us, a city. And the word there for city, you build city when you're a kingdom, when you're a people. You build together. And what you build together is the city where you pitch your samak, where you pitch your tent peg, all right? And you set your tent up, which the children of Adam builded. So that the children of Adam, the sister did a video on Barashayath chapter 1. I'm going to share that playlist with you. All right. And Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of Adam built. The children of Adam built. And Yahweh said, behold. And look how they put this right here with a capital Lord. That was added to the text. If I say to a brother that's named Gerard, if I say, and I said to the Gerard, that don't make sense, right? You can see that was added to the text. And if I lowercase your first name, which is the, and uppercase, whatever that is, your title as L, that means I erase your name. So inside of the text, that's grammatically don't make sense. When you can write down Lord, when you write down Lord in English, you don't have to capitalize the L after you wrote the first letter. After you wrote the first letter in your sentence, that's a capital A, N, D. So when you see this lowercase right here, and then they say Lord, this is what you're calling your maker now. That was added to the text. Because there's many these right here on earth. And if you go inside of your Strong's Concordance, if you are a person that read the Bible and want to know what it means, then you're going to have to study the language that it was originally written in. And you're going to see, and Yahweh, not Ha-Yahweh, and Yahweh said, he exists, said. And how you say he exists in Abar Lashon? Yah, he, Hawa, exist or live, right? Yah, Hawa, in order to live, you must exist. So Yah, with the Yah And the Yah by itself, they say Yad, the Yod by itself, that's He. With the Yod and the Ha, that's Yahweh's name short. Yahweh, Yah, He, Hawa exists. And Yahweh said, and He exists, said. And Yahweh said, behold, the people is Akkad. And Yahweh said, is He a liar? No. And Yahweh said, behold, look. Who He talking to? And Yahweh said, behold, He talking to somebody. The people is one. He talking to somebody about somebody. The people is Akkad. And they, see, He talking to somebody about people, and He called them they, have all Akkad Lashon, all one language. Lashon Akkad. And this they began to do. And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. So that was their dream, their hope, their goal to build this. But the Creator, the one that formed them, their Maker, said, behold, the people is Akkad, and they all Akkad Lashon, Lashon Akkad, one language. And they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them who was Akkad, one nation. They was trying to build themselves a name. Now, look at this, which they have imagined to do. It was their dream. It was their will. What did Yahushua pray? What did He say when the apostles asked Him, Mashiach, can you teach us to pray? Your will be done. He didn't say, y'all's will be done. He said, pray you in this manner. Your will be done, Father in Shamayam, Abba. Now, what did He say here in verse 7? Go to. Now, look at this. Now, they said, go to, and let us do this and do this. And that was their imagination. Now, listen to Yahweh. Go to. Let us. Let us. Us is plural. Let me write it down in the Assyrian block letters inside of the chat family. Let us. Let us. All right. Tana. Let me check my letter sources. Hold on, family, because we're going to read this today. All right. Let me check my letter sources. Before I don't like to speak presumptuously. And if I make an error, I like to go back and correct my errors. So I'm trying my best to get this right. Let us. All right. I'm checking my own background source, and I'm going to share you, and I'm going to share it with you when I'm done. All right. All right. So let me put it in here like this, because a lot of times it slow me down, especially when you're trying to get that other book. the other book what they keep talking about. Now, one elder told me when you see that long line going down, that's not a wa, that's a na. So I'm going to put the na right there. La. All right, I'm going to sound it out, and then I'm going to look it up so that y'all can see what we found. Na. And see, when they change the letters, then we got to go through all this. All right, so that's Than Lanawa. Than. Okay, so I see it now. And let me post it in the chat so that y'all can see. They probably gonna block it out because when you look online for this right here, this language, you're not gonna find this one on there. You're not gonna find this on Google Chrome when you searching. If you put this, it's gonna show you a blank screen, and I'll have to show it to you. Instead of just telling you, I show it to you. So I'm going to show it to you that you have to go and do your own study, but I am going to try my best to show you how the letters is working. All right, so right there, that's Tana Lanawa. So let us, Tana Lahawa, let us go down and there confuse their language, their Lashon. Why would he confuse their Lashon? That they may not understand one another's speech. So here it is. Yahweh didn't want them to establish themselves as one people. Just like when he told the animals, he told the duck to the fish, he told the fish to make fish after your kind. He told Adam to be fruitful and multiply. But look, with an Adam, with an Adam baby, they have to take time to learn how to walk. But with the Alap got to learn how to walk as soon as possible. Yahweh was working with Adam. Adam had to name all of the animals. He named the creation. All right? So Yahweh was working with Adam. Now look here, they had children, and this is after the fall. And it said, go to let us go down. He's still doing his creation like he wanted. Let us go down. Who he talking to though, Mashpaka? Let us go down. And there confound their Lashon. So the people inside of the Christian church, Messiah is the one that divided their languages, all the languages of the Arats. He is the one that divided their languages. He did it. So it was him that created Spanish language. It was him that created the language of Italy. It was him that created the language of Russia. It was him that created all these languages. And it was him through Adam that created the Abar. Now he said, let us go down. And they'll confuse their languages. We're going to see what that word means. That they may not understand one another's speech. He didn't want them to understand one another's speech and work together and build up that tower, build up that memorial. So Yahweh scattered them abroad. So after he divided their languages, this is Yahweh doing. So Yahweh scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the Arats, and they left off to build the city. Whose children are these? Are these the children of Nach? Or are these the children of Adam before Nach? Let's see. And therefore is the name of it called. So this is why the Abar people, and the Abar people called it. Therefore is the name of it called Baba'al. In our language, we called it Baba'al, Babal. Therefore is the name of it called Babal, because Yahweh. Because who? Yahweh. Did it say Hashatan? Did it say the hater? Did it say the Antichrist? Did it say Did it say any of that? No, it said because Yahweh did there in Shinar, did there confound the Lashawan, of all the Arats, of all the kingdoms, of all the earth, of all the land. And if there's more than one kingdom, then it's Arats. And from thence did Yahweh scatter them abroad upon the face of all the Arats. These are the generations of Shem. Now, after he divided them, he's still doing it like he wanted. When he divided the light from the day, and the darkness he called night, and the day he called day. When he divided the light from the darkness, and the darkness he called darkness, the light he called day, the night he called night, and the darkness he called. So look at how this go. These are the generations of Shem. This is his doing, not Hashatan. Shem was 100 years old and begot Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. 2 years after the flood. So this is just 2 years after the flood that Shem was 100 years old and begot Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. Shem had a wife, and they wasn't this. You can't be in no Middle East without proper melanin with your shirt off like this. Where is the Shahar people? Let me pause it right here. This is verse 10. Where's the Shahar people? And according to records that's older than us, where did all this get put inside of the Sapar? Let me go back. Who is all these people? Who are these people that parade themselves as the real human being, the real Adam on the earth, and everybody else is a subspecies? Who are these people that you see on the sideline? Why was things done the way it was done? Let me take this off the screen. Therefore, is the name of it called Babal because, and no, let's go down here. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begot Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. So this is 2 years after the flood now. This is not no 2,000 years ago or 500 years ago that everybody pretend like ain't never happened. This is 2 years after the flood. So if they don't want to remember what happened 500 years ago, why would people want to remember what happened 2,000 or maybe even 2 years before after the flood, Mashpaka? So, and they say, and Shem lived after he begot Arphaxad 500 years. They lived longer back then. You know, Adam was created to live forever. Yahweh is the one that cut down Adam's years to 125 years. And if they can live any longer by strength, you can read that in Psalms chapter 91. If by strength they can live longer. Arphaxad 500 years and begot sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 530 years and begot Salah. So look at what he say. And Shem lived after he begot Arphaxad 500 years and begot sons and daughters. He didn't just begot sons. He didn't just beget daughters. He didn't do it in a homosexual relationship, because nobody, you need a woman in order for seed to make a baby, and begot sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 530 years, and begot Salah. And Arphaxad lived after he begot Salah 403 years and begot sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begot Abar. And in Africa, they call it Eve. Eve. And today, in Africa today, they call him Eve. And what he established land, they call it Eve Nikba. Eve Nikba. But in Abar, his name is Abar. And Salah, so look at this right here. Salah is the is the son of Arphaxad. Arphaxad is the father of Salah. And Salah lived 30 years, and Salah is the father of Abar. They didn't come from no monkey. They didn't come from a religion. Does Shem mean he's just traveling through and it's a religious cult set up? Shem is a son of Nach. Your children is not a religion. And Shem lived after he begot Arphaxad 500 years and begot sons and daughters. They lived longer back then. And Arphaxad lived 530 years. Do you know your body fight against sickness because it was not designed to die? So there's something inside of our body that causes it to die. And Arphaxad lived after he begot Salah 403 years. And he begot sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begot Abar. And Salah lived after he begot Abar, Abar, or Igbo, Abar, 403 years, and begot sons and daughters. And Abar, Abar, and Eve, and Igbo, and Eve, and Hebo, and Abar, nice Hebo for sale, and Abar lived 430 years and begot Peleg, and Abar lived 430 years and begot Peleg, and Abar lived after he begot Peleg 430 years and begot sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begot Rau. And Peleg lived after he begot Rau 209. Now we just read it through the family album. And begot, and see, we don't read when we went to church, we didn't want to read all this. I don't want to read all these names. This boring. But if you want to look, if you look inside your grandmama Bible that they used to write as their birth certificate, you had to look inside of there. Shalom, Sister B Sparrow, and Shalom, thy word, Aman. So we got bored with reading all that. We wanted to get to the part with the miracles. You know, we want to see, we want to read about, and we saw it in our mind, whether we want to understand that or not. We saw it in our mind. We was envisioning it in our mind when we read, because a lot of people believe that you're mentally ill if you can envision in your mind. Brother, I heard a brother was doing something about that, that I had shared this video. The brother that did the 2+2 video, y'all should look at that. Y'all should look at that video. But anyway, and Abar lived after he begot Peleg 430 years and begot sons and daughters. Not another religion, but sons and daughters. Not Canaanites under the Cushite, and not Hamites under the Hamites under the Canaanite curse. I'm sorry, but Cush, but Kawash, and Quanan, they are brothers. But they said that we was Ham under the Canaan curse, and that's not true, because there's no verse in the Bible, no prophet in the whole Bible that prophesied that the Hamitic tribe of Ham will be dispersed into all the nations of the earth and discontinue from their heritage. But it said that about another group of people in this book that was put on ships, and it said, nice Hebo for sale. Lived after he begot Peleg 430 years and begot sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begot Rau. And Peleg lived after he begot Rau 209 years. So I didn't study how to pronounce all the names, but the ones I did study, that's the ones I pronounce. 209 years and begot sons and daughters. Get to know your ancestors by reading the scripture. Get to know who your ancestors is. Be acquainted with the legacy of your ancestors. Why would they have this written in here? Because they teach, they say, do away with all evil genealogies. They don't understand the writings of Sha'awal, because that's not what Sha'awal was talking about. Otherwise, it would have not been written down about the long genealogy of Yahushua all the way back from Adam, all the way through Yasar and Dawad, all the way down to his birth on the earth. But anyway, and Raul lived 230 years and begot Sarug. And Raul lived after he begot Sarug 207 years and begot sons and daughters, not religions, sons and daughters. And Abar, the masculine, always has the feminine with it. So when you see a group of men in the room, if it's a majority of women, but it's 3 men in the room, and you notice it, you use masculine terms. So that's why you can always talk in masculine terms in our bar and realize that the sisters is always there. There's 2 forms of a bar you can speak. You can speak in masculine terms or you can speak in feminine terms. But when you speak in masculine terms, it always is connected to the feminine terms because the Asha came out of Adam. They always belong together. So when you see the Asha, you always see the Ayash. And when you see the Ayash, you always see the Asha. Only when it points out that he's dealing with a specific judgment, he may just say Ayash and he dealing with the men. And then he may just say Asha and he dealing with the females. But all in all, the Ayash is always connected to the Asha. The male is always connected to the female, and the female is always connected to the male because Yahweh made the Adam to be with the Asha. It is not good that the Adam should be alone. I will make for him an Asha, a woman. And Raul lived after he begot Sarug 207 years, because they lived longer back then, and begot sons. As a matter of fact, the people lived longer when they brought them over to America. If they weren't killing them, murdering them, my bad, I said killing. No, murdering them. They lived longer back then. I walked through the cemetery in Polk County in Haines City, on Holly Road. I walked to the cemetery. It used to be Holly. I don't know if they still call it that because they keep changing up stuff. Somebody done bought the Holmes Village. Somebody bought that from Claude Holmes Cemetery that used to go around and help people. He was a Israelite. They used to he had fair housing and all type of stuff out there. They had sunflowers. I think my granddaddy had set up sunflowers where people can go and get clothes. They call it hand-me-down, but it was something that we had. Mashbaka, it was something that we had. All right, I was checking the chat to see if y'all had any statements or anything. Mashbaka, I'll be right with you. I got to answer. I got to take this call. All right, hold on, Mashbaka.
Murphy, you'd know he forgot his own name and has picked up an alias somewhere. So we who follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when we see so-called Negroes named Murphy and O'Toole and Johnson and Smith and Powell and Wright and Wilkins, which are all English and Irish names, we think that they look just as much out of place.
Hey fam, I got to come back and finish this. I got to come back and finish this, and I should have said if you're hobble willing with all those things. I make an error with that all the time. But if you're hobble willing, I will do this and I will do that. I will read and we'll catch up where we left off. But I'm going to share that video. There's an emergency I got to tend to, but fam, just go back and read your Bible, use your Strong Concordance, and study your book. But I got to get off here, fam. All right, thank y'all for coming, and please share the broadcast. Shalom.